Subai suddenly wakes up and finds himself tied up in a strange place by a girl who looks very different from him and craves to eat Subai for lunch. As the girl gets ready to make sausage out of Subai, Subai calms himself down, hoping that the girl won't harm him. As the girl raises her sword towards Subai, he loses all hopes, thinking why the heavens didn't take his life when he fell off the cliff. Instead, they allow him to face such a wild beast. The sword landed on the rope and broke it. Subai is set free, but he's still disoriented and confused about the situation. Using the primitive language, the hot animal girl tells Subai no matter how hungry she is, she can never eat humans. As he is looking at the girl, Subai notices that the girl has animal-like features. She has horns and a tail. That's when he comes to the conclusion that he has been transmigrated to another world. As a novelist, he tries to recollect his thoughts and think of what happened. He was climbing a cliff with a bunch of primary school kids. The guy who was leading them yelled at Subai not to be left behind. This captured the attention of the kids, who started at the weakest adult who can't even climb. The guy in front of him also laughs at the fact that a great novelist like him can't even climb. Subai, who is out of breath, expresses that he's sorry because he's a novelist. He spends his time relaxing instead of exercising sometimes. I bet he's single. Subai is mad at his editor who tricked him into climbing a mountain while he's relaxing at home. Subai can't wait to go back home so he can torture his editor with a lot of work. Suddenly, as he held on to a side stick, it broke, making him fall off the cliff. Instead of dying, he found himself in this world. As he observes the situation around him, he realizes isn't a bad situation. The world he's in is very outdated. As he goes outside the room, he sees foliage and people in animal skin. That's when he realizes he transmigrated into a primitive society world. Suddenly, someone calls him. "Hey boy." The huge guy begins asking, "What's your name, and where are you from, and what was your purpose for coming to Yanlong Village?" Subai didn't hear shit. The girl tries to cool her father down by laughing, but the father orders her to call him Captain, which she did, playfully. As the two are talking, Subai realizes he can't hear the primitive language. The girl asks her father why Subai ain't talking. He's probably afraid of him. The father says, "The guy looks thin and delicate. It's likely that he's from a large village. Therefore, they need to take him to the sorcerer who wants to see him." The girl started pushing Subai from behind. As they walk through the village, Subai begins thinking, there is no possibility for the existence of a tribe like this in the world, where humans have tails and horns. He still can't believe that he is transmigrated. The primitive girls start to like him since he's rare for not having wings or horns. The other girl is just thinking of how tender his meat must be since he has almost zero muscles compared to them who are fighters. Subai tells himself that he's no more on Earth, and as a novelist, it's not that he can't accept the fact that he is transmigrated. After all, a protagonist has at least hundreds of ways to die, but falling off a cliff is very rare. But the question is, what must he do next? He can't run away yet, but after observing the villagers, he realizes they are not cannibals. Instead, they're just curious about him. And the fact that they let him sleep in their room means they have no intention of hurting him. As they arrive at the sorcerer's tent, the captain talks to Subai, but our boy tells them that he doesn't understand at all what they're telling him. The captain uses hand gestures and points where he should go. Inside the tent, some mysterious figures were discussing that the village can't hold up for a few more days. Therefore, they need a new chief as soon as possible. However, everyone has been tested, but none of them had any magic talent. Without magicians, their tribe will perish. Isn't there anyone else? Someone asks. Another one responded, "You mean the outcast found 3 days ago?" "Sorcerer, we've brought him." As the sorcerer looks at Subai, he told him to get closer. As our boy got closer to his face, the old man opened his magical blue eyes that sent Subai to another dimension. The old man starts talking. "Boy, can you see it?" Subai wonders where this place is. Furthermore, they can both hear each other's languages. The sorcerer tells him, this place is deep in his soul, and he will convey their languages into his soul. He asks if he can see inside the flame. Subai answers he sees something like a dragon or snake inside. "Very good," the old man says. Suddenly, Subai wakes up from his reverie. The sorcerer tells him he will be part of the Yanlong village as the next generation of magicians. Everyone was astonished by this news and started chanting, "We have a new sorcerer. Our tribe will survive." The wolf-looking guy was against this idea of letting a child become a sorcerer of their village. But the friend replies to him that it's better if they have a sorcerer at least, and the captain affirms that he believes in the sorcerer's choice. Subai is still confused that he's now a sorcerer. Later, the hot girl holds Subai's hand as they walk in the village. While still rocking sneakers and clean outfit in this primitive world, Subai was now wearing a tribal necklace. Everyone in the village started recognizing him as their next-generation sorcerer. Even though he was a stranger, villagers were accepting of him. One old lady is happy and expresses that the totem's tribe will not be crippled. They will no longer be outcast. Subai still can't believe they made him a sorcerer. He asks the girl if it's a good thing. The girl answers that the great sorcerer chose him, so there are no doubts regarding the great sorcerer's decision. The girl happily introduces herself as Manhwa. She will be in charge of taking care of Subai. She tells him to ask if he has any questions. Subai takes this opportunity to ask Manhwa about their tribe. Manhwa replies, her tribe is called the Yanlong tribe, and the totem is also called Yanlong. Subai wonders if what he saw in that flame is the totem. Subai inquires about positions within the tribe. Since he noticed that Yanhwa's father is the chief of the village, why must he obey the instructions of the sorcerer? The girl asks him what tribe he is from, because he should have known this general knowledge. She then reveals that the strongest in the tribe is the sorcerer. If there's no sorcerer in the tribe, then the tribe will be destroyed. The second in position is the chieftain, her own father, Yin Jiao, followed by the captain hunters, but there are also totem soldiers, reserve soldiers, and commoners. Subai expressed, even though there are few people, there are many positions. Manhwa gets sad and says, in the beginning there were a lot of people. Previously, they lived in the fertile ancestral land, where they didn't have to worry about water and meat. They were a large tribe of 300 people, with 665 soldiers in a single hunter group. But half a year ago, they became the target of the Black Snake tribe. The hunting grounds were attacked, many people were killed during that period, and their ancestral lands were taken over. They were forced to migrate. Because of their past, Manhwa wants to get stronger, to save her comrades who were taken captive, and restore the ancestral land, and take revenge for everyone. Manhwa gets back to her happy mood and shows Subai around the village. Subai noted that bad things are happening within the tribe. Most people are pale and skinny, meaning they're malnourished. The living environment has poor hygiene, and it has become a place that is easily contaminated with bacteria. If a pandemic outbreak were to happen, it would be the worst disaster. Subai is puzzled by all these thoughts and tries to think as to where he should start. Suddenly, a loading bar started loading in his head. A screen appears before him, and it's written, Daily Help System Activated. Subai was happy as he anticipated something like that to happen, system plugins. He plans to contact someone using a thought. He realizes there are 3 help packages. Further help packages will unlock 1 year after the host checks in. They will die if they have to wait for it. Subai realizes that the system can only be seen by the host, meaning himself. Manhwa got irritated that Subai was not listening to her, especially after taking her precious time dedicated to training just to come give him a briefing on the state of their tribe. Subai apologizes, lying that his head is a little bit dizzy. Manhwa says, enough, and decides to take him for a rest. They arrive at their mansion and start chilling together at their fireplace. Subai was curious to see where he'll be staying, but Manhwa looks timid. After a long, stressful day, Subai decided to throw himself on the custom-made bed. While the girl was nervous, Subai felt a weird smell, like milk, but it's not bad. Manhwa suddenly jumped and landed on his manhood. She then reveals to him that it's smelling like that because it's her place. She's a girl after all. While staring at her, Subai begins thinking that he's in big trouble. Manhwa allows him to stay at her home, which means they will have to live together. And even though she has horns, our MC eyes are now finally open as he can clearly see the hottie standing before him. He can't wait to have a great time with her. However, his imaginary fun is cut off when Manhwa reveals to him that she's not staying with him. She's only staying for a while tonight because she's going on a patrol. She then tells Subai not to mess with her stuff otherwise he'll receive a beating. Damn, even primitives are hard to get. Subai stated that she appears mature but still easily embarrassed. Our boy seems in love or lust. Since he's left alone, he decided to claim his daily reward. He receives intermediate help, healing skill level 1. He realizes that this skill can be upgraded later. Next, he opens his attribute panel. And as you can imagine, our MC is so weak. This didn't come as a surprise to him, because he knows he's been lying down for too long as a novelist. With a status like that, it would be impossible to survive among these primitive tribes. It would have been worse if he had a wife. Our boy decided that he needed to start exercising. Meanwhile, inside the sorcerer's room, the chieftain Yin Jiao tells the great sorcerer that Subai's origin is unknown. Can he really become a wizard? The sorcerer replies, they have run out of time. In the tribe, only he has talent, others do not. Suddenly, the great wizard started coughing blood. Yin Jiao tells him to be careful and watch his body. The old man replies, no matter what he does, he won't be able to hold on for a few more days. Yinku tells him it's their fault that he's in trouble. If they were stronger, he wouldn't have to be hurt to protect them from the Black Snake tribe. The old man tells Yinku not to think about it too much. There are more important things he needs to do. Inheritance ceremony 3 days away. The chieftain asks, why hurry? They haven't finished investigating Subai. What if he's from the Black Snake tribe? The old man's answer was that the Black Snake tribe wouldn't be able to raise such a clean and soft child. Also, he's been observing his soul. His soul has no malice, and it's clean as a river without dirt. He might be from a legendary tribe, but as long as he does not do evil, they must protect him. The chieftain agreed and wanted to begin the inheritance ceremony. But the old man added that the descendant of a wizard often has extraordinary talent. It would be better if they had many generations of wizards. Knowing he has a hot daughter, the chieftain tells the great wizard to rest assured. He knows what to do. As he stepped out of the room, his daughter was eavesdropping. He asks what she's doing. She nervously replies that she just happened to pass by while on patrol. She didn't hear anything. Her father tells her it doesn't matter if she heard. Instead, he has an important task for her. Manhwa was excited, thinking her father is finally confessing about an important mission. She tells him, whatever task, she'll definitely fulfill it. The father, with an unfazed facial expression, tells her to marry the young wizard and fuck him, so they can have kids. The more kids, the better. Manhwa was left speechless for a few seconds. Then she finally stood up, pissed off, asking her dad what nonsense he was talking about. She reminds him that she only wants to marry someone who can beat her, stating that Subai is too skinny, so there's no way he can beat her. The father yelled at her, stating there aren't many people who can beat her, and she could kill our poor Subai. The chief urges her to make up her mind quickly to marry the skinny boy. She's already 19. It's time to have a child. Manhwa runs away, refusing to have children. Her only purpose is to get stronger and take revenge on the Black Snake tribe. The father tells her to stop running before he beats her ass, but that doesn't make her stop as she laughs while running, leaving the old man amused by the father and daughter drama. The next morning, Subai woke up feeling cold. He wonders if this place has ever been occupied before, since there's a lot of damage and holes. He almost froze to death overnight, so he decided to close the holes to reduce the cold. Manhwa arrives at that moment, and Subai asks for her help in finding the straw. Manhwa simply overthinks being with him, then slaps him, stating that she doesn't want to be with a skinny guy. Subai asks what she is saying. He just wanted a straw. A straw for what, she asked. He tells her there are a lot of holes in her house. He wants to help cover. Manhwa agrees to help after causing damage. Subai wonders if he was hallucinating or it's this bitch's attitude that is suddenly bad. As they walk together, Subai noticed other kids sleeping in the cold. He asks why aren't they sleeping at home and covering themselves. The beauty replied, most people don't have a house because animal fur is very valuable, so they have to hunt it themselves. She tells him not to worry. He's much more important than them. Subai was left speechless. Later, he decided to cover the kids to keep them warm. Manhwa asks why he did that. He's the sorcerer. He's more important than them. With a serious look, Subai replies to Manhwa that they are equally important. Manhwa is left speechless, but thinks to herself that he's not the same as she imagined. In the evening, the hunting squad returned to the village. everyone happy after seeing the red-haired pig that looked delicious to them. At least the kids won't have to go hungry. After realizing he hasn't eaten anything all day, Subai asks Manhwa if there's a division for rations in the tribe. She agrees, stating the meat is mostly distributed to totem warriors and a small portion is given to reservists and children. What about old ladies and gentlemen? He asks. She replies they can only eat occasionally. They usually pick wild fruits to eat, and it's not enough to make them full. Furthermore, only half of the prey is edible. The rest must be dried and eaten when the hunting team comes out. Subai thinks about this as an unstable way of getting food. He begins thinking if they start farming, they can stabilize the food reserves in the village. The girl asks what farming is and why maintain animals when they can't eat enough. Subai didn't know how to explain raising pigs to eat to her. He's afraid if they do that, the pigs will be slaughtered at night and eaten. The giant guy with the lion's face calls Manhwa and inquires who Subai is because he has never seen him before. He concluded maybe it's Manhwa's prospective husband chosen by the chief for her. Although he was right, Manhwa nervously tells her uncle why he talks about her marriage every day. She introduces Subai as the sorcerer's heir. The hunters celebrated that there's hope for the continuation of the village. But they told Subai to eat a lot of meat because he's too skinny. The future of the tribe depends on him. Subai thanks them for the meat. Subai tells Manhwa that the tribe members are very kind to their guest. Manhwa tells him, of course they are only kind to him because he's the future sorcerer of the village. One kid was hungry, but still gave his meal to the heir sorcerer. Later, Manhwa asked Subai why he didn't accept the meat of the kid. It was an honor to offer meat to the sorcerer. He answered, it's not something to be proud of. They are all humans. He tells Manhwa to first roast the meat properly before eating it. Manhwa was already drooling while watching the meat getting cooked. As the meat got ready, Subai asks her to take the first bite, but she refuses, stating it's the food of the air. No one is qualified other than the sorcerer can eat it. But the delicious smell made her change her mind, but must eat in secret. Subai tells her to only take one bite. This turns out to be the biggest bite. The girl bites half of the meat to the bone and enjoyed her first cooked meat. Subai also tastes and notes that it's a little tougher than the meat on Earth. And too bad there's no salt for flavoring. Luckily, Manhwa opens her bag and takes out some salt for him. He asks if the salt was hers. She replies, there's no more salt left in the tribe. Luckily, she saved some. This is because every totem soldier is required to eat salt. But she doesn't mind giving her salt to Subai. Subai realizes salt is very valuable in this primitive society, unlike on Earth where he can buy a packet of salt for just $2. He returned the salt and decided to eat the tasteless meat. She asks if it was rare salt, which he agrees and tells her to keep. Subai didn't want to use it because she considers it as a treasure. What a gentleman. Seeing how poor this village is, Subai wants to think of a way to quickly solve this problem according to the current situation. He asks her where the salt came from. She replies that another team of hunters went to another tribe. So every 15 days, the leopard deer tribe will hold a market. People from nearby tribes can go and buy many things. He inquires how many days it takes to get the next market procurement day. 10 days, she replied. Subai decides when the time comes, he will go and take a look there, so he can learn more about this world. Suddenly, the chieftain arrives and tells Subai that the great sorcerer was looking for him. As Subai was entering the room, the chieftain reveals to Tsongshur that the remaining days of the great sorcerer will be left to Subai, which Tsongshur already knew. The day has finally arrived. The captain hunters look emotional. The Catwoman takes off her hoodie, and she's revealed to be a beautiful blonde girl. Sadly, she was crying, as she emotionally remembered beautiful memories with the great sorcerer. Inside, the great sorcerer reveals to Subai that the following day will be an inheritance ceremony. But tonight, I will tell him everything he wants to know as best as he can. Subai realizes the time has finally come. The old man asks Subai if he knows what a sorcerer is. He didn't know, so he asked for an explanation. The old man explains, one who protects the tribe, inherits the future of the tribe, and guides the tribe's direction. Only by doing all this can one be worthy of being called a sorcerer. In this world, the totem power is the foundation of a tribe. Totems inherited by each tribe are also different. And the one who can control the power of the totem and activate the totem mark in the warrior's blood is only a sorcerer. Subai asks, what kind of existence are the totem warriors? He replies, totem warriors are the strongest people in the tribe other than the sorcerer. Each and every one of them has great potential in chi and blood. However, no matter how good a warrior's talent was, how strong his chi and blood was, it would not be able to evolve naturally. If there's no totem mark to guide that power, you will not be able to harness the power of your blood. So the sorcerer's presence is very important to them. In other words, only sorcerers can activate their potential to surpass ordinary people. The sorcerer added, everyone has the power of blood within them, and with proper training and guidance, even the weakest person can become a totem warrior. Ordinary soldiers, reserve soldiers, and totem warriors, their chi and blood have a clear difference in terms of strength and weakness. If you gather sufficient blood strength, you will be promoted through the sorcerer's ritual. Under normal circumstances, the reserve soldier can deal with most beasts and can become the back of the tribe, but that's all. Even so, outside the tribe, there are many more powerful beasts out there, and only strong totem warriors can face the beasts. Even though they are few in number, they are the mainstay of the tribe. And how strong a tribe is depends entirely on the number of totem warriors. Subai analyzes this info, stating that as long as there's a sorcerer, they can train ordinary people to become totem warriors. In a dangerous primitive society, no wonder the sorcerer's status is so high. The old man continues talking. A sorcerer's abilities aren't just limited to training warriors, but also, for example, creating a domino sorcerer. The great wizard opens a scroll and tells Subai every way of making the domino sorcerer is inside that scroll. He tells him to open it. Subai opened the scroll and saw strange writings that got him dizzy just by looking at it. The old man reveals that the sorcerer's text is not something he can be able to read right now, but once the inheritance ceremony is over, he will be able to understand its contents. He then shows him the domino sorcerer and tells him every domino sorcerer is engraved with magic. As long as he can use magic power, he'll be able to activate it. Subai is shocked by this revelation. There are many kinds of magic, poison techniques for poisoning, blessing techniques which increase strength and speed, and healing techniques. Subai asks what type of technique does the old man specialize in. He answered, he's good at healing and also uses some blessings. Subai concluded, the sorcerer's abilities can't be made public to avoid attacks from the enemy. The old man praises his sharp brain. He reveals that the sorcerer is greatly admired, but he's also an easy target. The old man urges Subai to remember and keep these secrets. It's a tribal heritage. Subai confidently responded that he will carve it into his heart. Suddenly, the great sorcerer starts coughing blood. Subai tells him not to move so he can heal him. The great wizard tells Subai not to waste his energy. He's already exhausted. But he's happy that his wait was not in vain. Subai wonders why his healing technique is not working. The old man tells him that it's bad. He won't get to see the surprises that Subai will create in the future. He asks Subai to help him stand up while there's still time. He asks Subai if he still remembers the knowledge of being a sorcerer. Subai tells him not to worry. He remembers everything. Good. Then we'll get started soon with the inheritance ceremony. The great wizard spoke while walking toward the door. As they stepped outside, everyone was lined up. The old man tells Subai to kneel before him. With everyone watching, the old man started talking, 63 years, I've been waiting a long time. It's time for the new sorcerer, guiding all of you. The inheritance ceremony begins. Every totem warrior's power is activated. As they begin chanting, offer blood. They all cut inside their palm and offer their blood, which creates a strong aura. The old man tells them that the totem has come. Suddenly, a strong light in the form of a dragon emerges from the blood and enters Subai. His body started glowing. The great sorcerer then touched his own forehead and removed a glowing ball. This is the sorcerer's true inheritance. The truth of the sorcerer's history and the secret of the totem wealth are all in that glowing ball. He placed the ball on Subai's forehead, which transported him into another dimension where he began seeing the past for a brief period of time. He woke up and found himself in the tent, He was brought there after fainting at the ceremony. He now figures out everything sorcery and totem. Actually, totem is a kind of sorcerer script which evolves from sorcerer pattern collection, which pattern inheritance is the main secret of inheritance ceremony. Subai realizes that his vision has improved a lot after receiving the inheritance. He can see clearly even though he used to be nearsighted before. His body also seems to be getting inexhaustible strength. He decided to open his system to check his progress, which has significantly improved. Stamina, strength, and speed have more than doubled, and spirit has also increased tenfold. There's also the addition of extra magic power. With these many changes, Subai could feel something different in his body. He notices in the system that the value of magic power and spirit is the same. Magic power is a change from spiritual power. After doing his daily check-in, he acquired a fruit knife and linen textile craft. Subai was annoyed by the random stuff he's getting. He wouldn't be surprised if one day he gets a pack of toilet paper. But Subai realized linen textile craft seems more useful. Because most of the people in the tribe wear animal skins, with this he can try to make sackcloth in the future. Yinku comes to check on him if he's awake, and excuse himself for disturbing his rest. He tells Subai to pack up to go and stay in the main tent. Subai asks, isn't that where the sorcerer stays? The chieftain tells him that from now on, he is their tribe's sorcerer. The tribe needs his guidance. Subai asks about the old sorcerer's body. Songshur answered that they followed the old sorcerer's advice and cremated his body. He presents a relic stating it was the only thing left after cremation. From a scientific point of view, Subai defines a relic as being actually a stone. However, he doesn't want to make conclusions because he's unsure how far apart this world is from Earth. The totem warriors didn't know what a relic was. Subai tells them, according to the legend, the person of infinite merit will have relics after cremation. There he has decided to keep those relics. He assures them that after successfully regaining ancestral land, they will build a temple to worship. It's just the beginning. I am the sorcerer of the Yanlong tribe. Subai chuckles. Later, Subai was finally in the office. He began assessing the situation in the tribe. He finds out that the meat stock was almost finished, barely enough for totem warriors to share, and the hardest part is to supply the consumption of 6 reservists. Subai, why there are only 6 reservists? Yen Jiao explained, originally there were 26, but many were carried away by the totem warriors of the Black Snake tribe during the migration. No, they may be dead or became slaves. Subai wants to understand more about the Black Snake tribe. He inquires if they are farther than them. Then the chieftain tells him not to worry. The Black Snake won't be coming to their tribe for now, given the fact that the land here is a bit barren and they don't like it. He added that it takes a day just to travel and hunt prey, and it takes at least 3 days to catch enough prey. Subai talks to himself inside that this is a bad and good condition at the same time. Even though the bad location makes it difficult for them to get food, it also means they won't be easy to target and can grow for a while. He asks the warriors how much they know about linen. Songshur replies that linen is very rare and can only be made by the big tribes. They also wanted to make more linen clothes to wear, but not much jerky to barter after migration. And every time in the market, the linen will be robbed as soon as it appears. Only 3 pieces of jerky can be exchanged for a roll of burlap. Yen Jiao tells Songshur not to move. He then shows a visual measurement of what they're talking about. Subai asks how many linens in one roll. Yen Jiao again orders Songshur to lie down, so he can demonstrate the measurement to the sorcerer. After doing the math, Subai joyously stands up and tells the two that they must first set a small goal. Make the tribe have lots of meat so they can eat as much as they can. Later, the hunting team were in the bushes. One hunter complains to their leader that it's a waste of time to be looking for grasses instead of prey. Songshur knocks him and tells him that it's related to the future of their tribe. He remembers the sorcerer told them he knows how to make linen. He told them to talk with a lower voice to avoid their tribe being the target. He told Songshur, next time he will be hunting, he must look for a plant. It's the material needed to make linen fabric. Their effort will determine how much food the tribe will have. Songshur tells the others that the sorcerer gave him a very important task, therefore he has to accomplish it. On the other side, Subai began calculating that there isn't much food left, And even if he sends Song Shi and Yin Jiao, they may not be able to find the material. Even if they find it, he wonders if he should teach everyone how to make linen. But the linen-making method is a secret, therefore, he can't easily give up the whole thing. And if the material is not found, he needs a backup plan, because there are still many problems in this tribe. Drinking water, salt, and sanitation are big problems. Thinking about all these problems gave Subai a headache. He started wondering if an ordinary novelist like him will be able to manage the tribe well. At that moment, Yanhua enters the room, asking the sorcerer what was wrong with him, since he was pulling the hair. She tries to monitor his body, but this sends Subai in panic, wondering why she was eavesdropping on him. The lady replies she listens to it openly. Since her father and other warriors are out, she's doing her best to protect the sorcerer's safety outside the tent. Subai asks if the sorcerers of the past were dealing with many trifles alone. Yanhua replied, of course not. The sorcerer has an assistant. He asks why the previous sorcerer's assistant is not helping him. Yanhua replies, while fighting the Black Serpent tribe, they advanced to protect the sorcerer. Then they all died. After thinking of how the Black Serpent tribe killed the pillar of the Yanlong tribe, he asks Yanhua if she has someone to recommend to him as an assistant. Someone who is smart, hard worker, and has ideal and practical thoughts. Yanhua started blushing and asked Subai, "Isn't that me?" She remarks that he's not good at expressing his opinions out loud. Subai tells her to stop it. She is not even close to those three qualities. She suggests that he must choose a Miko instead. He asks what that is. She replies a Miko is a woman who takes care of the daily life of the sorcerer, cleaning the housework, doing chores, giving instructions, and so on. Subai is happy with this idea because it suits his needs. He asks, who does she think is suitable to fill the position? Yanhua happens to know someone. They decided to go find her in person. Yanhua began thinking. Her father told her that the sorcerer will soon need a Miko sooner or later. She's a perfect fit for the position. The father asks if she hates him. She replies that she doesn't hate him, and becoming a Miko is every girl's dream in the tribe. However, she yelled, "How can I avenge everyone when I become a Miko?" No matter what, she wants to remain a totem warrior and kill the bastards of the Black Snake tribe. Subai woke her from her reverie. She pointed to the place where he'll find a Miko, Yanhua's friend. She wanted to call her, but Subai tells her not to rush. He will have to see her first to decide if she's the fit. As he looked through a hole, he noticed a very hot girl sitting down. He concluded this must be the girl Yanhua was talking about. Yanhua asks about his thoughts. He explains that the girl is beautiful, but she looks weak. The tribal marks on her face are starting to fade away. Yanhua assures him that she's weak, but she's very diligent and kind. It's just sometimes she's stubborn. Yuing is Song Shi's nephew. Her father and mother passed away when she was little. She was raised by her aunt. Since her aunt is currently pregnant, that's why she moved where she's staying. Because she didn't want to finish her aunt's food. Subai tells her that she did the right thing. Yanhua asks why. Because at Uncle Song Shi's house, she can eat meat every day, but here she can only eat grassroots. Subai replies that the difference between giving and receiving is huge. He can understand that she came here just to calm her mind. Yu Ying's friend began telling her that she should go back to her uncle's house. Otherwise, she will suffer here. And since they have a new young sorcerer, there's a possibility for her to become a Miko, since she's the boss nephew and her parents used to be pillars of the tribe. Yuing nervously refuses, stating she does not deserve to serve a sorcerer, and the sorcerer definitely does not like her. After hearing her friend and the grandma's words, she admits she does want to be Miko, but Yanhua is more suitable for that role. And since Yanhua told her when she was young that she wishes to be a Miko, Subai heard it, and Yanhua is now annoyed. She bursts in the room shouting at Yuing for exposing her little secret. Yuing tells her that she used to tell everyone in the tribe about it, and why is she eavesdropping? Subai replies that they are not eavesdropping, but simply observing. He asked Yanhua to bring him there. She was surprised and thought to herself that the sorcerer must have heard all her words. She thinks she's too arrogant and useless to be a Miko. She wants to find a place where people won't recognize her. To test her out, Subai tells Yuing he has some questions for her. He asks if she can write. The other girl was amazed that their sorcerer can write. Yuing apologizes that she can't write. Subai asked if the question was too serious. Of course, Yanhua replied, Only the great tribes have their own words, but they don't. Subai Change asked Yuing if she wanted to be a Miko, since Yanhua highly recommended her. Yanhua reveals that she wants to avenge everyone and become a totem warrior. After thinking about it for a long time, she also realized that only Yuing is the most suitable, and also her dream was to become a Miko. Subai says to stop thinking about other people's opinions. Yuing rejects Subai, stating that she doesn't want to because she's shy, stupid, and makes a lot of mistakes. Subai decides to stand and says that he won't force her. It's her choice. Yuing calls him back, but he calls Yanhua and tells her, let's go. Yanhua chases after him, asking why he suddenly left. Yuing is a very shy and weak person. She asks why is he so cruel. Right now, if he leaves her alone, she will always hate herself and feel that she's useless. Who says that I don't want it? Subai asks. She replies, but why did he leave her alone? Subai answered, opportunity must be taken by yourself, not others. If she really wants to become a Miko, she must fight against her weakness and take advantage of the opportunity. It's not about me, it's about her. A girl was waving from afar. Yanhua was happy thinking it's Yuing. It appears to be the other girl who shows appreciation to the sorcerer for visiting them. Subai happily accepted it. Thinking Yuing gave up on him, Subai tells Yanhua they must go. The girl asks the sorcerer to wait for Yuing. She's weak. Her running is a bit slow. A moment later, Yuing covered in sweat. She tells the sorcerer that she accepts his proposal to become a Miko. Yuing starts crying. Yanhua tells her to stop crying because the sorcerer has accepted her to become a Miko. She answers, she's crying because she's happy that her dream to become a Miko has been accomplished. Despite saying that she would be a Miko, Subai notes that Yuing is actually more suited as an assistant. Yanhua decides to tease her friend that when she cries her face looks like a little cat. Don't laugh at me, she replies. Subai tells Yuing to first wash her face. They'll start work after cleaning up. Huh? Wash face? No, we're short of water. How can I waste it just to wash my face? She asked. Subai was left speechless with his eyes widely open. Subai decided to ask questions. This tribe people, how often do they bathe? Yanhua answers that they always take a shower. For example, she takes a shower every year during the rainy season. With a grim face, Subai what kind of being he's been living with in this ice-sky world. She only bathes once a year. Yuing asks if it's very important to bathe. Of course it is, but if they want to implement a clean sanitation system, there must be sufficient water sources. He asks where the tribe collects water. Yanhua answers, there's a small lake in the forest, but there's a group of very powerful beasts nearby. Only totem warriors can get close to it. The water transported is only enough to quench thirst. Subai asks her to show him that little lake. Since water is the source of life, they must solve that problem first. Yanhua chokeholds him and tells him that he cannot leave the tribe since he's a sorcerer. It's too dangerous outside. He can't just walk out. Subai doesn't want to be under house arrest. He asks what danger is there. While holding him from running away, Yuing replies that there are some totem warriors exiled by other tribes. They will choose small tribes and kidnap sorcerers to perform the inheritance ritual. Because of this, there's a rule that a sorcerer cannot leave a tribe unless absolutely necessary. Yanhua assures him that he will be completely safe inside the tribe. Subai begins thinking there were only 11 totem warriors in the tribe. 6 went hunting, and the rest stayed. This way of taking water will be a waste of energy. He wants to find a way to free them from the problem of lack of water. Later, the Catwoman almost killed Black Fong to protect the sorcerer. Black Fong tells Sha Hong to come down. It was him. Yanhua describes Hong as the Black Claw. Witnessing the strength of the totem warrior, Subai realizes with such speed he would have been dead long if it was him. Black Fong asks Yanhua and Yuing why they took the sorcerer out of the tribe. Subai answered that it was his idea because he wanted to see the water source. In turn, Subai asks Black Fong, why is he alone? Where are the other warriors? Black Fong remembers that he was sent to get the Domino Sorcerer because one of the totem warriors is injured and will die if not treated. Take me there now, Subai replied. Meanwhile, my Meng is badly injured. Yin Jiao tells him to hold on, because Black Fong went to search for the domino that will heal him. My Mang can't hold any longer. He tells Yin Jiao to leave him, because after a while a beast will come because of the blood smell. Yin Jiao tells him to stop thinking about other things and wait for a minute. Suddenly, a movement in the bushes, prompting the bodyguard to attack and injure Black Fong. Yin Jiao was surprised to see Sha Hong, who was supposed to be at the village with the sorcerer and the other two ladies. Yin Jiao beat Black Fong for bringing the sorcerer to the dangerous area instead of simply collecting the domino. Subai tells Yin Ku not to bully the kids. He is the one who insisted to get out of the tribe. Subai decided to start healing My Mang. His power surprised the ladies. Yanhua asks her father, how come Subai can use magic, since it takes at least 30 days to learn? Ewing also notes that Subai is using magic without even chanting. Yin Jiao remembers, this is what the old sorcerer said, that Subai's talent is incredible. Without taking much time, Subai managed to completely heal My Mang's huge injury. Chieftain ordered one of the soldiers to take My Mang to the tribe since he's still too weak, but My Mang replies that he wants to keep on fighting. This made the chieftain to tease him, stating that although he has wings, he does not consider him from the Eagles clan. Instead, he considers him from the Duck clan because he's very talkative. Yin Jiao tells My Mang to go back with the sorcerer and others to avoid slowing them down. Because in the forest there's not only beasts, but also the great beast. Beasts also have ranks. There are 3 types: mixed race beasts, pure race beasts, and inherited race beasts. The strength of the totem warrior also has 3 levels. In the current tribe, only Yin Jiao, Song Shi, and Sha Hong are at the top rank. Wild beasts like deadwood wolves are the most difficult to deal with. After hearing all that info, Subai tells Yin Jiao he doesn't want to return to the tribe yet until he sees the water source. It's way more dangerous for him to return home without knowing the water source. While Yin Jiao tries to tell him about the danger of being outside, Subai yelled at him that we must solve water problems. Without finding the solution for water, there won't be a future for children, women, and the old people. He added that his own safety is not important. He has to risk his life. He will not let the inheritance of the Yanlong tribe be destroyed in his hands. Yin Jiao got a flashback of the old sorcerer telling him not to worry. He won't go hungry. Don't forget, I'm a tribe's sorcerer. Subai hopes his word will make the girl not consider him as a simp. In the morning, Yin Jiao and Subai reach the lake. They notice the deadwood wolves on the other side of the lake. Subai was already trembling as he remembers that My Man's huge injury was caused by a thorn of one of the dangerous wolves. Yin Jiao assures Subai that there's a way to deal with the wolf. However, the most difficult thing to deal with is the rock crocodile in the lake. These pure beasts are more than a dozen in the small lake. Even if all the totem warriors were to join forces, they wouldn't be able to hunt down more than 2 rock crocodiles. Because of that, they usually take water when the crocodiles get on land to take a nap. After taking water, they run away before getting noticed by the crocodiles. Subai sees this method as dangerous and inefficient. Let's outsmart it, he replies. He added that it's actually simple to get water using Digging's method. He explains that as long as they can make a canal in the lowlands near the lake, they will be able to channel the lake's water to the tribe. Ewing finds this method interesting even though she doesn't understand shit. And Yanhua asks if they have to dig ditches. Black Fong replies with a positive attitude that he's the best when it comes to digging. Subai asks him if he's alright after the attack he got. Black Fong, though still feeling dizzy, assures him that he's fine. There's something bothering Subai. He asks the chief, why does everyone attack upon hearing something, without even figuring who it is? If I'm not careful, I'll probably meet a disaster. The chief answers, this is to scare off enemies. When they enter a hunting ground, they're not different from wild animals. They hunt first to avoid getting hunted. Especially at night, it's in their instinct to strike first to increase their chances of winning. That's why even during training, soldiers accidentally injure each other. But the injury isn't too fatal. It is better than being bitten to death by wild beasts in the hunting grounds. And since the warriors are left small in the tribe, they can't be careless. Chief, I'm sorry for my mistake. Subai replies. Before Subai could say another word, Black Fong began digging to show off his abilities. Sha Hong, and Yin Jiao watched for the enemy, while the other three were busy in the bushes. Subai tells Ying to help Black Fong in showing the direction, so he doesn't dig in the wrong way. He then tells Yanhua to help get rid of the weeds around. While looking at Yanhua, Subai begins praising the girl's ass. He noticed that because she's a trained soldier, she has a well-proportioned buttocks. While craving for that buttocks, Subai got interrupted by Ying, who tells him that the ground Black Fong is digging is getting wetter. Subai sees this as a good sign, because they are getting closer to the water source. Even though everything is going smoothly, Subai still feels that something important is missing. Subai decided that they should stop digging ditches for today, because if they continue, it'll only benefit the beasts. Others ask if they're giving up on the project. Subai replies that from now on, they're going to need some bamboo. He explains to them that bamboo is a plant that is hard on the outside but has a cavity inside. Yanhua replies that there's no bamboo nearby, but there's a similar tree called the red knuckle. Yin Jiao asks why he needs it. Subai replies that they will need it to make a primitive society's water pipes. Without wasting time, the chief begins breaking down the trees they will need. Subai examined it and concluded that these will be perfect, and although they have smaller holes in the middle, it shouldn't be an issue. In short, it's a natural pipe, which is perfect for flowing water. Yin Jiao didn't understand how to make use of the trees, but Subai explained to him that it's a simple process. Sorcerer Black Fong has found a water source, Ying yelled. As Subai arrived where Black Fong was digging, he was happy to see the groundwater seeping out. Black Fong inquires if what they are seeing is a reservoir. He can't believe they've dug up the water. Subai responded that he was right. Yanhua asked an interesting question. If digging a hole can get water, why don't they go and dig in their village so they can get water from there? Subai explains that water source can't be dug everywhere. The location of their tribe doesn't have a water source. Here there's water because there's a lake in the vicinity. Subai explains to them how they will connect many hollow logs until the water can flow to the tribe. Hearing this, everyone got super excited, praising how brilliant the sorcerer is to come up with such a solution. At this moment, the young sorcerer happily stands up and tells everyone to hurry up and work. Subai asks the chief to ask Shahong to stand guard, but the chief must accompany him back to the tribe for some arrangements. In the evening, Subai tells everyone that in the next few days they will solve the water problem in the tribe, so everyone must take action to ensure that the water pipes are connected to the tribe. Everyone happily agreed. Subai put in charge my Meng and Shahong to protect everyone from wild beasts who will try to interrupt their work. Back at the reservoir, Black Fong was happy to see Subai. He asked him how they should connect the hollow logs. Subai draws down, showing how he should cut the hollow wood into a convex shape. The other end will be formed into a concave shape. This will make it easier for the two to be joined to each other. The boys praised their great sorcerer for thinking about things that they can't. 2 days later, the natural pipes were all connected, and finally the water was now flowing in the tribe. Everyone was happy that they won't have to worry about running out of water anymore. Everyone recognizes it's the effort of their sorcerer. Ying informs Subai that everyone is cheering and grateful to him. Subai replies, he's only in charge of directing. This is all thanks to everyone's hard work. Subai thought this project would take them a week, but he's surprised they managed to complete it in less than 2 days. And the reservoir for water storage is also ready. He underestimated the physical strength of the otherworldly beings. Subai informs Ying that to convey to people about a new rule he wants to establish. What rules? She asked. He replies, drink lots of hot water. Ying gathers everyone to tell them that the sorcerer's latest order states that everyone must boil water before drinking it. People started murmuring, what? Boiling water? Why do we have to boil water? It's so difficult. Ying clarifies because small invisible bugs are in the water, so the water must be boiled to kill it. People didn't buy it. They called it nonsense because there's no way that's true. Maybe what the sorcerer saw in the water was a ghost. The chief also makes a point that it doesn't matter if there's small bugs because when the tribe is short of food supply, they will catch and eat big bugs. While everyone was complaining that there's no problem in consuming bugs, Ying was getting nervous telling them that many people have suffered from diarrhea in the past. This was because of drinking raw water. People called her word nonsense because they have survived all this time drinking raw water. These arguments made Ewing realize that she's too weak at arguing. In order to be respected as a Miko when conveying orders, she needs to change her attitude. Enough! Everyone! Don't make a fuss, listen to me. Her voice tone scared everyone. She tells them that the sorcerer knows people won't understand, but the sorcerer will never hurt all of them. So whoever disobeys the sorcerer's orders must take care of themselves. Don't blame the great sorcerer. These words made everyone start remembering how raw water killed their loved ones. Subai was listening inside the room, hoping that drinking cold water should soon be popular. He asked Ewing if she told them that the hot water should be cooled before drinking, to avoid burning people's throats. Ewing replied that she told them everything he ordered her. Subai heard from Yin Jiao that the population of this tribe is at least 10,000 people, but now the Yanlong tribe is less than 100 people. It is really hard to increase the current population, so the best he can do is to at least minimize the death rate. Drinking hot water is only the first step. After that, they need to ensure food and improve hygiene conditions. Subai noticed that Ewing was busy. He asks what she was doing. She replies that she was preparing the bed to sleep. She tells him that a Miko must live with a sorcerer. She asks if he doesn't like it. Subai didn't want to let go of such beauty, imagining all the good things he wants to do to her. Later at night, Subai couldn't. His mind kept him awake, so he wouldn't miss the beautiful view beside him. He asks why she was so close. Ewing replies it doesn't matter. She may not be a totem warrior, but she will take a very good care of him. Literally. Subai tries to calm and control himself. This only got worse because he ended up thinking of Yanhua's proportionate buttocks. This pervert begins overthinking while he has a Miko right next to him. To calm down his lust, he decided to start practicing his healing skills on himself. He injures himself, then tries to cure his finger instead of his manhood. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe so you won't miss another fun story like this.